Hi everyone, this is Dr. G. Amarinder Rao, Principal VBIT Hyderabad. In today's session, we'll derive the general heat conduction equation in cylindrical coordinate system. As you are aware, in cylindrical coordinate system, the temperature would be a function of radial, angular and axial coordinates as well as the time. Mathematically speaking, temperature would be a function of r, theta, z and tau. An equation which relates temperature with all the above variables is known as the general heat conduction equation. We are going to realize that it would be a partial differential equation of higher order. While deriving this equation, we will be using the first law of thermodynamics, which is nothing but energy balance, the Fourier law of heat conduction, and the Taylor series. And to have a beginning, we'll consider an elemental volume of dimensions dr along r direction, which is shown over here, r d theta along theta direction, and dz along z direction as shown over here. And you may see that this is the cylindrical coordinate system or r theta z system. This is the r direction, this is the z direction, and this is the theta direction. And in order to incorporate all the energy quantities, we try to magnify this elemental volume. And we can see that at any r, we take some length dr along r direction and some angle theta, we have the arc length dr, and some height along z direction, we have dz. And to make the situation more general, we assume that there is some internal heat generation at a uniform rate of q dot watts per meter cube. This heat could generate because of some source inside the element. And if you calculate the total volume of the element, it's going to be the product of all the three dimensions, dr, r d theta, dz. Then we'll introduce the energy terms. Del qr is the rate of heat conducted into the element along r direction, and del qr plus dr is the energy that is leaving the element along r direction. So this green colored indicates the r energies. And del q theta is the rate of heat conducted into the element along theta direction, and del q theta plus d theta is the energy that is getting out from the element along theta direction, which is shown by this orange color. And this yellow colored lines indicates the rate of heat conducted into the element along z direction, that is del qz, and del qz plus dz is the rate of heat conducted away from the element along z direction. And this nomenclature is very much elaborated over here. Del qr plus dr, del q theta plus d theta, del qz plus dz, all of them having common units of power, that is watts. Then q dot is the rate of internal heat generation per unit volume of the element at a rate of watts per meter cube. Now we perform the analysis along r direction to begin with. Del qr is minus kr, r d theta dz, del t by del r. And we may note that kr is the thermal conductivity of the element along r direction, and r d theta into dz is the area available for heat transfer along r direction. Then del qr plus dr can be expanded into Taylor series as del qr plus del by del r, del qr dr. Now we assume that del qr comma s is the energy that is stored in the element due to heat conduction along r direction in a standard time period of d tau. Now this del qr comma s would be energy that is entering, del qr, minus energy that is leaving, del qr plus dr times d tau. Now we substitute for del qr plus dr, that is Taylor series over here. Then we realize that del qr gets out, and del qr comma s would be minus del by del r, del qr dr d tau. Now we'll incorporate the Fourier law for del qr over here, and this is going to be minus del by del r into minus kr r d theta dz del t by del r dr d tau. Minus minus becomes plus, and kr is a function of r which must be retained. R is again a variable which must be retained, and remaining parameters will go away. D theta, dz will go away. And somehow we have to make sure that this component dr, d theta, dz should be dv. So for this purpose we multiply and divide with r. Therefore we are going to have 1r in the denominator, and the numerator r will be multiplied over here with d theta, so that we get dr or d theta dz will be the volume of the element. So as a result, del q r comma s would be 1 by r del by del r r kr del t by del r dv dt. So this is the energy that is stored in the element due to heat conduction along radial direction in a standard time period of d tau. Now we carry out same analysis along theta direction, and del q theta will be minus k theta dz dr. That is the area that is available along theta direction, and k theta is the thermal conductivity of the element along theta direction, and the gradient will be del t by r del theta, because r d theta is the size of the element along theta direction. Now del q theta plus d theta, if you expand into Taylor series, it will be del q theta plus del by r del theta del q theta r d theta. Now in an analogous way, we assume that del q theta comma s is the energy that is stored in the element due to heat conduction along theta direction in the same time period of d tau. Now del q theta comma s would be energy coming in, del q theta minus energy leaving, del q theta plus d theta into d tau. Now we'll incorporate Fourier law over here. Then we are going to have del q theta comma s as del q theta minus del q theta minus del by r del q theta r d theta d tau. Now this del q theta will be out. We are going to have minus 1 by r del by del q theta r d theta d tau. Now for del q theta we are going to implement the Fourier law, resulting in del q theta comma s as minus 1 by r del by del theta minus k theta dz dr del t by r del theta r d theta d tau. Minus minus becomes plus, and this r as well as this r denominator we are going to have 1 by r square del by del theta. Only k theta will be inside, del t by del theta. Then dr will be out, independent of theta. R d theta anyway is there, and dz anyway is there. This dr r d theta dz will become dv. Therefore your energy stored in the element due to conduction along theta direction will be 1 by r square del by del theta k theta del t by del theta dv d tau. And finally we carry out similar analysis along the axial direction, z direction, and del qz will be minus kz dr r d theta, that is the area available along z direction. Kz is thermal conductivity of the element along the axial direction into del t by del z. Now if you expand del qz plus dz into Taylor series, we get del qz plus del by del z del qz dz. Now we assume that del qz comma s is the energy that is stored in the element due to heat conduction along z direction in the time period of d tau, which is obviously energy entering minus energy leaving into d tau. Now we supplement Taylor series for del qz plus dz to get del qz comma s as minus del by del z del qz dz d tau, and for del qz we incorporate the Fourier law, and by simplification we get del qz comma s as del by del z kz del t by del z dv d tau. This is the energy that is stored in the element due to conduction along z direction. Now we assume that del qs is the total energy that is stored in the element due to heat conduction in all the three directions in the same period of d tau, which is obviously the sum of radial, angular and axial storage systems. Therefore if we substitute for del q r comma s, del q theta comma s and del q z comma s, and take dv and d tau common, we are going to have total energy that is stored in the element as 1 by r del by del r kr del t by del r, that is r component, plus 1 by r square del by del theta k theta del t by del theta theta component, plus del by del z kz del t by del z, that is z component, times same volume, same time. Now we assume that del capital Qg is the total heat generated in the element in the time period of d tau. So Q dot is the rate of heat generated per unit volume. Multiply volume and multiply with the time, you are going to get total energy in joules as Q dot into dV into d tau. And due to heat conduction and heat generation, the energy of the element will be hiked by dE in the same time period of d tau. Now this increase in energy of the element is mc del T by del tau into d tau. And for mass we can write density into volume, and dE can be written as rho c del T by del tau dV d tau. Then as per the energy balance, this total energy stored due to conduction plus total energy generated should be equal to increase in energy of the element. So we substitute for del Qs, we substitute for del Qg, we substitute for dE in this energy balance equation, and we cancel the common terms volume and time to get that most general heat conduction equation in cylindrical coordinate system as 1 by r del by del r r kr del t by del r plus 1 by r square del by del theta k theta del t by del theta plus del by del z kz del t by del z plus q dot is equal to rho c del t by del tau. R conduction plus theta conduction plus z conduction plus generation should be equal to the unsteadiness of the system. So this is obviously the most general heat conduction equation in cylindrical coordinate system, and it can be simplified by incorporating suitable assumptions. The first and foremost assumption is that we consider the cylinder material to be isotropic and homogeneous. As a result, thermal conductivity will be same in all the directions. So we can take K out of the differential, and K can be taken common, and everywhere we can divide by K to get the most general heat conduction equation in a cylindrical coordinate system when the material is isotropic and homogeneous. Here we introduce the term alpha, that is thermal diffusivity, which is K by rho c. Then second assumption is that we ignore any sort of heat generation in the element. Q dot is equal to 0. As a result, fourth term will vanish. So 1 by r del by del r del t by del r conduction, plus 1 by r square del square t by del theta square theta conduction, plus del square t by del z square z conduction should be equal to unsteadiness. And this equation is known as the Fourier equation. Now next assumption is that we assume steady state conditions, which means that we'll wait for so much of time that temperature does not vary with the time. As a result, del T by del tau will be 0, so RHS vanishes. And this equation we call it as the Poisson's equation. Now fourth assumption is the combination of second and third. We assume no heat generation and steady state conditions, resulting in the Laplace equation. There is R conduction plus theta conduction plus Z conduction is equal to 0. Like this, we can have different types of conditions that can be incorporated in this equation. Let us suppose 2D steady state, no heat generation. First two terms will be equal to 0. Let us say 1D unsteady, no heat generation. First term will be equal to RHS. Let's say 1D steady with uniform internal heat generation. Then first term plus fourth term is equal to 0. Like that, this can be simplified by assuming different conditions. Now the simplest possible one, which can be easily handled, is 1D steady and no heat generation, which means that temperature is a function of R alone. That is, temperature is independent of theta, Z and time, and no heat generation. And when temperature is a function of R alone, del can be represented by D. Since everywhere we have 0, this R will vanish. We are going to have d by dr or dt by dr is equal to 0. And this equation can be handled easily using ordinary mathematics. And one can integrate this equation 2 times and apply appropriate boundary conditions to get the temperature distribution and the heat transfer rate. And those of the students who are going to write their end sem exam or who are preparing for their engineering services, this could be a full-fledged question, and you can practice this equation, and you can always get advantage of it. Now let's try to pick up some simple questions based on this discussion. Governing differential equation for 2D steady state heat conduction in cylindrical coordinate system is represented by, you can see del square T by del R square plus del square T by del theta square is equal to 0. It is not correct. 1 by R d by dr, R dt by dr plus d square T by d theta square is equal to 0. When temperature is varying with respect to theta and R, you cannot use d, therefore this is wrong. Look at C, 1 by R del by del R del T by del R plus del square T by del theta square is equal to 0. So this looks to be perfect. And option D, del by del R del T by del R plus del square T by del theta square is equal to 0. It looks to be okay, but 1 by R is missing. Therefore, D is erroneous. Then governing differential equation for 2D unsteady state heat conduction. 2D unsteady. Everything is same as this, but right hand side 1 by alpha del T by del tau. This will be a perfect equation. Remaining all are erroneous. Then governing differential equation for 1D steady state heat conduction in cylindrical coordinate system is given by 1D steady state. Many students may go for it, but del by del R, that's wrong. So when temperature is a function of R alone, no need for partial derivative. So this looks to be good. D by dr, R dt by dr is equal to 0. And this one is wrong because d square T by dr square, which cannot be used. And fourth one is absolutely wrong. So these are very simple ordinary questions that may be expected for a mark or a couple of marks. So with this we'll conclude today's session. In the next session we'll derive general heat conduction equation in spherical coordinate system. And till then, have a nice time. Take care of yourself.